to the Bureau of Immigration and served there as Deputy Chief Investigator for 1 or 2 years. I am never satisfied. Ever since I started playing football, I always ask myself the question, what next? What next? So that has been the gravitating great process of my own life, growth process of my life. So I entered the Liberian Produce Marketing Corporation, and I worked there for several years as a produce inspector, eventually as assistant manager for administration in the very department that I was employed in. And then I went to procurement supplies, specifically taking responsibility of the import of the everything that had to do with LPMC, PCADP, NCRDP, Low-Fire Development Corporation. And then I left from there. Faith has a way of deciding what you do. I was fortunate to have been employed by the government of the Republic of Liberia at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, because of my, I call that the fallback experience that I had gained, I served there as the principal deputy director for security, diplomatic security. Let me qualify that. The principal deputy diplomatic security chief for operation. I went to Egypt, Cairo to study. I also studied diplomacy under the auspices of the United Nations. And then by 2005, the government of the Republic of Liberia was pleased to assign me to the Chancery of the Embassy of the Republic of Liberia near Washington, D.C. as a political officer. And there I worked for 11 years and few months. And then I had to back down and salute myself out of that institution. So that would be a summary, a nutshell, a bird's eye view of who Christopher Nippy is. And interestingly, I should note that I play for Jet. Then I was attending St. Patrick's High School. And then I went to play for the Invisible 11, both as a goalkeeper and a player on the field. And then subsequently, and in my final days with Mighty Barrow and the Liberian national football team. So that gives you a summary of the activity that I've been drilling myself through of my life up to this point of the interview. Thank you very much.
That a great summary of everything you have accomplished.
Let
So
me
my first
interject quickly.
question,
Let me interject, Mr. Smith, with due
yeah,
indulgence. Let me interject that you said that I work with His Excellency, President Joseph Yuma Boaka, not at LPRC in your intro, but rather at
okay.
LPMC, as I indicated.
Oh, okay. That's good to know that. Let me go. What was your high and low playing soccer, and in that same sense, how you were able to play soccer and find time to be in all the other jobs that you were able to. How you did it? Let's take us through the high, the low as a soccer player, and
Well,
finding
well,
time.
well, we will start from our formation days. My formation days from St. Patrick Elementary School to the high school, I had the privilege of working with the Liberian National Police Force. I am a trained, a trained, versatile former police officer. I was trained at the Liberian National Police Academy. As I said, in 1966, I had to break school for a while because it's always good as a young man coming on, growing up in society, to ask yourself, what do I do? What can I contribute to my society, to my people, to my country? And interestingly, you should be informed that I had become, during my formation days, a ball squad of troop number 1, the Catholic St. Patrick's troop number 1. I served as platoon leader for the Lion platoon, the Lion Company rather. And then, as a scout board, there's something that we learned, which put us into an ethical realm in our life. And that is the Scout Oath, where it is recited, on my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, and to obey the Scout law, to help all other people at all time, to keep myself physically fit, mentally awake, and morally straight. So that come on to that word, morally straight, which inculcates ethical balance. And so, as a Scout boy, I went into the Liberian National Police because it's about civic duty to your people, your country, and the government that leads the nation at that time. And it was during the tenure of His Excellency, our deceased and noble President, William Fakanala Shedrack Tubman, and under the supervisory of Honorable E. Haddon Smythe, that I had the pleasure of being trained as a police officer. And you asked the question, how do I marry my sporting activities with the academia? And that's where I said, if you listen to me, I mentioned what next? What next? If you go to the Bible, you come to realize that there were people that were given talents. But there is a philosophical description of those talents in the form of coins, money. Some buried theirs, and some were able to produce more out of the little that were given to them by the master. The master in this instance case will be Almighty God. So when God had given you a talent, you develop that talent. And that's how I understood that portion of the Bible to be. So I had to develop my talent. And I started playing on the field initially. But I was never satisfied when people were beating my team. So I decided to learn the techniques and the mechanics of goalkeeping. And so I became Liberia's number 1 goalkeeper. Mike Barrow, number 1 goalkeeper. Invisible 11, number 1 goalkeeper. Interestingly, let me let you know that Dr. Alexander Peel, when I entered St. Patrick's High School, he had to give me his jersey. And then when I entered Barrow team, the same thing happened. When I got on the national team, I had 2 jerseys, one from Alexander P. and another from my mentor, David Momo. And may his saintly memory be as fresh in my memory, because it was he who perfected my skills. David Momo was the one that perfected my goalkeeping skills. So I pay homage to him today, because as he was widely known and internationally respected, so was I also domestically known and internationally highly respected. So that would be, again, a bird's eye view of what your question alludes to.
My second question to you,
Yes, sir.
you spend most of your time at the embassy in Washington, D.C. as a political affairs counselor. For people who don't know what that position entails, what was your accomplishment in that position and what did you do that uplifted the Liberian community in Washington, D.C.?
Oh, well, let me just say thank you so much for asking that question. It is as important as the question is. You will be given this answer. The political office is something like a military, the point man. He tests the temperature of the receiving country's government. The political officer will be in close collaboration and consultation with the ambassador, who is the head of mission. He guides the conduct of the embassy or the chancellery, so to speak, because the chancellery is where we work and the embassy is the domicile of the ambassador. That's where all records are kept. So he guides the conduct of the political officer, and he has someone who aids in the direction of the mission, and that is the deputy chief of mission. So with the ambassador, you're given strategic and critical assignments. You explore the corridor of the U.S. Department of State. You go to meetings. And in the ministry handbook, you are to assess what is being said, what the government policy is at a point in time. How does it relate to your government and your country? What benefit are to be derived from such a policy? You go beyond that. You explore the possibility for the goodwill of the government, education, in the absence of an education counselor. You do that. And then you report to your government what the policy of the U.S. government is. You try to analyze, because that position is to understand what the U.S. government is doing at a specific time in relation to Africa. Even though it might have an angle on global affairs, and Africa will be an appendage to that global issue. So you study that, you try to understand that, you analyze it, and you make a report to the office of the ambassador, who is the president's representative in the receiving country. And then based on that, and other assignments that are given to you, you do them. Now, you ask for what has been my contribution to my government. While I post, I was able to train the Honorable Consul General in Georgia, Mrs. Blanchford Knox. I trained her. I guided Gary Gibson, who subsequently became ambassador to the kingdom, to London, the Court of St. James. And then your visa that you are using currently was created by me. Everywhere I went, I tried to leave an indelible footprint. For instance, LPMC, and the president is my witness. I was able to separate what they call local purchase and foreign purchase. Because if John is a crew ball, that name John, if you hear in the Pele area, is the same John. It's spelled the same way. There is no change in the name John. So when you say purchase, you speak in terms of what? Action, an action verb, which is buying. So you cannot have a local purchase, then you have a procurement and supply. You have an import department. So I was able to do a paper to the managing director then, His Excellency, Jose Yuman Barker, and he honored that proposal. And so we had to merge the local department of purchasing with the import and export department. And so I became the principal deputy. And peace be to her arches, Mrs. Nancy Morgan, Nancy Dix Morgan was my colleague, or let's call it counterpart. And we worked so cooperatively. And then the managing director of the corporation was pleased to have assigned me to Ganta as the deputy regional manager again for operations. So I stayed in Ganta from 1985 up to the period of the incursion of the silver crisis. I know all sectors of Nimba County because it was my duty. In Nimba County, I was instrumental in creating the Client Marketing Association, which is called a CMA, Client Marketing Association. And I will be quick to answer the question before you pose it. What is the Client Marketing Association? The client marketing, the sense behind the formation of the Client Marketing Association was centered on the bringing all of the clients, the various marketing association, to a central position. And that central position carried me into a second thing that I will have to do, is central buying system. That system inculcates that you will harmonize all of the clients in the center of a particular locale, and there you will buy the produce. And it was for economic reasons. Why? Someone has 2 bags of say, cocoa, palm kernels, rice, coffee, and they have to come from places like Yahweh Maintenant, going to Saclay-Pied. Does it make sense for that old man to come with 2 bags of the produce? Your produce inspector will have it graded. He pays transportation. So having viewed the economic shortcut of these people and all of the risks associated with riding in a vehicle, to come to Ganta with 2 bags of coffee or cocoa or palm kernel or rice, I thought it wise to create the central buying system and the Client Marketing Association. Importantly, that created the interest. I don't know whether Dr. Frederick Goroka is living. That created the interest of Dr. Frederick Goroka, and he decided to avail me of the opportunity to go and study in Israel, to study farm management with emphasis in cooperative development. But there was a shortfall because we had the war. So when the war came, I could not march towards that training program. And so I did not go to Israel. And that's how while the war was going in 1995, thereabout, I was privileged to have been called upon by the then Minister of Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Mamadou V. Sakar Salif.
Mr. Nippy.
Yes.
If you don't mind, let me hold you there,
Please.
uh, because we do have a full bench here of panelists, and I want them to have the time to be able to conversate with you. So I think you have given us a lot of your bio and what you currently do. Let me go around the table and bring them in and ask you the question. You can continue to expand on some of the milestone that you have reached in your personal endeavor. How is
The
that?
pleasure is mine, sir.
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks for the understanding. All right. Before I do that, we have been joined by another panelist. Let me have him introduce himself to you real quickly, and then we're going to come around. Uh, Mr. Mr. Day. Mr. Day, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm
I want
getting
to pronounce the last name correctly. If I'm pronouncing it the right way, Day? Or
yeah,
Day?
that's it. Number RG day.
Day. Okay.
You
Please
are getting the right
introduce
day,
yourself
yeah.
to our guest. Our guest this afternoon is the very profound and well-landed diplomat who work in the diplomatic service of Liberia, Mr. Christopher Napier.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wright. First of all, I would like to, from my end, I want to say good evening to you, the host and the co-host, and also extend greeting to the panelists as well as the listener. And most importantly, our guest. Here I'm concerned about RGD, a legal practitioner, mostly a prosecutor, work with the Ministry of Justice. Yes, this is my first appearance as a panelist, but we are here. I'm here to appreciate almost every one of you, the host, and the listening audience, in the kind of giving the kind of reception that I may expect. I beg the therefore is an important space for constructive dialogue. And I'm here to provide my expertise from my end, from a legal perspective. And whatsoever it is, we are all here to listen to our guests to provide us some basic information so that we'll be quizzing accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Youngbow Day, the prosecutor. I've been announcing your presence on the show, but good to have you anyway.
That's it.
It's good
Thank you.
never late, you know what I mean, to be on the scene. Good to have you. So let's go around the table now and let's begin with Mr. Wooler. Do you have any question for the guests? Okay, you're good. Thank you. Mr. Nubo, any question for our guests? You're muted, sir.
Yes, I have question for our honorable guest, Honorable Christopher J. Nippy. I met you at the embassy.
Mr.
And
Nubo, can you be audible a little bit? It's on your voices.
oh, I don't know. Maybe let
No, you're
me.
okay. If you can just lift your tone up a little bit, that'll be fine. Mr. Nubo, we can hear you.
Okay, thank
There
you.
you go. Now you sound great. There you go.
Yes, I said I met our guest at the embassy when I was living in Atlanta, Georgia. And when I was going to Liberia 2004, I think 2004, I processed my document there. And it was not the time I met him then. That was during early administration. But I believe he had left. And I requested for a visa, multiple visa. And what surprised me was they wanted me to sign cash. I shouldn't sign check. And that's what I did because I wanted to go. And When I got my passport back, it was 3 months. I said, no, well, this is not what I requested for. So I contacted the ambassador and I had to send my passport back for them to rectify their mistakes. You have been out of there, for a long time. Have you heard about such practice at the embassy? I'm talking about Washington, D.C. embassy, where you want to travel and you want a visa and they say, send cash.
Well, thank you very much. That's a very important question. To the contrary, no, I have not heard about anything like that.
Okay.
But if I may elaborate a little,
okay,
it was to circumvent all of those kind of bottlenecks, because the purpose of an embassy is the embassy is like a bridge. On that bridge and under that bridge are many, many, many things. And that bridge upon which you are is the receiving country. So from that receiving country where you have the convergence of your citizens, they have to go out and come in. That's what I'm using a metaphor of a bridge. They have to go out and come in. So they go out on the other side and they come in on the other side. But you must make it as a duty, a primary duty, to not inconvenience your citizens, because it is for your country from which the citizens hail. That's why you are posted to a mission. So we had to study what the inconveniences were when we got to post in 2005. That was during the administration of the interim government for national unity, specifically Judith Bryant.
Yes.
His Excellency Judith Bryant, peace be to his memory. And so when we got there, we saw all of these things here. We had to retool the entire structure of the place. And let me be quick to mention the good and the able manner in which I was accepted by His Excellency Charles A. Manor. Charles A. Manor. He was not only the boss, but he was a gentleman. He was not only a gentleman, but he was a humble personality. And it is just strange that an ambassador, instead of sending for you upstairs like most bosses would do, the boss themselves boss their underlings. No, he never did that one day. He will always, Chris, I'm coming to your office. And he comes to my office. But Chief, let me come on. Says, no. I'm coming to your office. And so he associated, he acquainted me with a lot of problems. Contingent on those problems and the issue pertaining to those problems, I had to be visionary so that the chancellor will move forward and all of the bottlenecks that you refer to just now, like cash. No embassy should accept cash, though they will receive revenue, which are remitted to the central government. So on the pieces of information that I was provided by the ambassador, His Excellency Charles A. Manor, I decided to fast track all of the errors that were going on in the place to a different set of application forms, create the current visa that Liberia is using right now. The embassy is using that visa. I sent the visa to New York, and in Belgium, they're using those visas right now. I I did not want to think about creating visa. I thought about the security aspect of the visa. Those visas cannot be duplicated anywhere. They cannot. So I had to, besides being a political officer, put on my security hat. So what does my country get from this if the visas are going to be duplicated elsewhere? And then we put in some restrictive measures that have caused the visa to remain unduplicated. You cannot duplicate them anywhere in the United States or outside of the United States. And so, referring to that, the specificity of your question about cash, we decided to receive money orders. And the money orders will be finally sent to the accounts department. And they will do all the things, and the money will be channeled to a bank. The account was there, and the money would be subsequently channeled to the foreign ministry. And then the foreign ministry would do all of the bureaucracy associated with the Ministry of Finance. So I hope I've answered your question, sir.
Yes, definitely. You have answered my question. You have more than answered my question. Question number 2.
Yes, sir.
A few days ago, there was this sad news from Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Sam Jackson's wife was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
And it took days, maybe 3 days, before the police declared the house a crime scene.
Mm-hmm.
And being a trained police officer, what is your take on that process?
Very important, very good question. And what is my response? Here comes my response. As a police officer, the first thing that happens before you get on a crime scene, besides a such warrant being necessary in certain instances, there must be a matter of exigency or a probable cause. These two elements were in the Sam Jackson's alleged, and because I have no evidence to prove him guilty or to come to the charge of murder, alleged, and I was just a manslaughter. And what we would have done in 1966, the very first thing on receiving that information, the area will be cordoned. The area will be closed up. Mr. Jackson will be taken out of his building, unlike what we saw on the social media with people going there, people rushing into the house. And I should be very honest, the scene was compromised. The scene was compromised. In such instances, the police must be, I will be very emphatic here. In such instances, the police must be proactive. It is not a secondary action. It is a primary action that the police takes. You institute the requisite actions. To do what? Why are you instituting the requisite action? For immediacy. You do that so as to gather first-hand information on the crime scene. I noticed a lot of people entering the building. I saw with disdain the sofa on which Mrs. Jackson, peace be to her memory, Sony, where she was lying. I saw people sitting down there. I saw people touching walls, touching the various objects within the home. Those actions were improper. Those actions were very, very, very improper. What did I see happen? I saw a squad of maybe 6 to 10 police officers standing around. But the scene was not protected. The scene was not protected. That gate should have been locked. Mr. Jackson, despite the fact, or in spite of the fact that he was my classmate at St. Patrick's High School, Mr. Jackson was my classmate at St. Patrick's High School. We sat down in the same class. Despite that fact, were I the IG, I would have apprehended him for two reasons. One reason, that the allegation was he had murdered his wife, so we had to protect him. So we put him on protective custody before the investigation begins, and then we secured the scene. We secured the scene and make sure that even where the body was taken, that place is secure, so that when the pathologists come, because you have to have a congruences in the entirety of the case, from the level of the coroner or the pathologist, to reinforce as a complement to the police charge sheet, to say, okay, this crime did happen, Mr. Jackson is responsible. Mr. Jackson was not responsible. It was due to medical reasons that the person died. Then Mr. Jackson will be excused. He will be exonerated. But to have had Mr. Jackson in the house and people go in there, that's my friend. That is my friend. A few days before it happened, Mr. Jackson had written something and he sent it to me. Normally, they would send things to me to see, to pick my brain. And he was lying down in a white T-shirt with a hand at his back. But I didn't comment, because in the interim of commenting, I had this unpleasant news that my friend was involved in what amounts to an alleged murder. But I've known Sam Jackson at St. Patrick's. Everybody will tell you about Sam. Sam talks. Sam Johnson talks. We all know about him. Alaji Kumar, he was one of the people that talk, who were classmates. Maurice Ducler, who served as Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, one of the first tenure of Her Excellency, President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, was my classmate. So we all know Sam Jackson fought him off. But that Sam Jackson will be vicious, I have not noticed that in him at all. I think he has always presented himself as one of Liberia's finest gentlemen. But fate has a way of shifting things around. And sometimes when I do my writings, I write their twists and turns. The twists and turns of life can either be positive or be negative, as in this instance matter, the question that you've asked. So in short, I would have protected the scene to preserve evidence. I would have made sure for Sam's protection, because it has to do with an alleged murder. I would have secured Sam Jackson in the custody of the Liberian National Police for protective custody prior to charging him. If and only if, beyond all reasonable doubt, Mr. Jackson, in correlation with the pathologist's report, is found guilty, then we will charge him for either first-degree murder, second-degree murder, manslaughter or murder. So that, I hope that answers your question, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nippy. Thank you. Look, Mr. Nippy, I am declaring you what the phrase I want to put on there, but it will come to me. But you are a resident scholar of this platform. I just want to say that.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, we'll call on you whenever we need you. Please keep
Thank
your
you,
phone
sir.
open. I am blown away. I heard the name Nippy for a very long time, but I didn't know he was so eloquent and so well-rounded. But thanks for being here. Fellow panelists, I want to give our panelists from Liberia the upper hand, the advantage here, because the time is running fast on their end. We and Mr. Nippy over here in the U.S., we can stay with him, for as long as he wants. So I'm going to give the people from Liberia the chance, at least to ask more questions to our guests than we would do over here in the U.S. So, Councillor Day, I will let you ask one question or make a comment to the guest, and then we'll go to the line. When we'll come back, then I'll come back to you again for you to ask your further question. So one question to the guest, and then we'll go to the line and have our listener participate, and then we'll come back. I'll come back to you. So please, your question or comment.
Okay, again, I want to say thank you to Mr. Nippy. Yeah, he exhibited his level of intelligence. But it's something that comes to mind I want to ask on. He mentioned and said that with relation and with the issue with Jackson's wife case, the crime scene appears to be contaminated. Is that correct, Mr. Nippy?
I did not use contaminated because when you say contaminated, it means that you have foreign objects coming into the place. I said compromised.
Okay. Oh, well, compromise, it means the crime scene that one way or the other being tampered with. Okay, so my question is, how critical it is on the failure of this case? And what is the impact can it have on the integrity of the entire investigation? What impact it has on the integrity of the investigation?
Thank you so much, sir. With respect to the crime scene?
Yes.
Yeah, with direct respect to the crime scene. The first thing we were taught in homicide investigation is that when a homicide occurs, you cover the crime scene. What does that mean? You protect the crime scene. So if it is like somebody shot somebody on Benson Street, the police got that information, the person is lying there, nobody is allowed to go around that body. You cover the crime scene to protect the evidence that will be gathered. Now, what would be the evidence to be gathered if it were that he was shot? It could be the casing of the arm of the gun. From that casing, you can determine the velocity at which that shot would fire. If it was a Smith & Wesson, if it was a Colt, or any other weapon, you'll be able to determine it from that bullet. Because it is the casing, it is not the casing that kills. In the casing, you have what you call something like gunshot dust in the casing. And the firing pin will hit the firing, there's a little circle of the gunshot. The firing pin will hit that. And when it hits that, it causes a burning sensation in that stuff so that the bullet leaves. It is the bullet which does the damage to the human body. So you need that casing to establish what kind of gun it was. So if many people went around the scene, high chances will be that they will extract from the crime scene the bullets. They will extract those things. You may not be able to see it. Yeah, you will see the wound, but that's an evidence. So before you can adjudge that person guilty, say, oh, the person shot the gun, but where is the gun? Where is the shot? Because there must be between the victim and the arm must establish what happened. Then the coroner will know what kind of arm was used, or the police rather will know what kind of arm was used. Now, let's come to the specificity of Mr. Jackson's issue. Mr. Jackson, as I saw on the social media, lived in a white building, which has an entrance of a black gate. On receiving that information, if I were the IG, Now, I'm speaking very subjunctively because I am not the RG. I am not the RG, so I'll be very subjunctive. But from a professional point of view, that scene will be cordoned off. Those people who were coming and the man has been relieved, they got no business coming inside tampering with the police operation, they would not have had enough opportunity to have breached, because that was a security breach, to have breached that gate to come in, and some of them going in the house, seeing the women then coming in, touching the wall and doing all of those things. In my fair estimation, the analysis will be fraught. Because if you went on that sofa where the lady was lying, there will be several DNAs that there. Will you attribute those DNA to be those people who murdered the lady? I'm sure they entered the bedroom and they will touch the door and all that kind of thing. And Mr. Jackson is on record to have said that his wife bled profusely. Could that not be at the time of her fading out of life and going, maybe she must have touched something with the blood being there and somebody else touching that blood and touching the door and all of the country. So this is why you see in developed country, when a crime occurs, such as murder, such as the what obtained at the premises of Honorable Jackson, the place is cordoned off. You see either red tape or you see yellow tape, and they will have on the caution. I mean, you can't enter.
That's right. So let hold you there, Mr. Nippy.
Please do.
When we come back, I can see you. You're in your elements.
I must be, sir.
So we're going to go to the lines, and then we'll take a few calls. I have a call the producer can take, and then we'll come back and we'll continue with the conversation with you. All right. At this point, I'm going to ask everyone to mute, please. Alex, take it away, please. Take it away, please.
Oh yes, and of course I said this wonderful evening here at Top Motor 5.3. You just been listening to the program at Back to D4 events supporting us here this wonderful time. It's about time that we open the phone lines and hear from you. Those of you been listening, those of you been watching us online. Let me just quickly play up the WhatsApp number so you can be able to call, because other people are also monitoring us from different part of the world tonight. Yeah, so those of you in radio land, just call on 0776 105 105 881 14 3504. 0881 14 3504. 0776 105 105. The number supported through those of you watching online, like I said, the last number you see on the screen, the WhatsApp number also. Yeah. So our orange number also our WhatsApp number. So if you want to make a call through the WhatsApp line, you just call us and we're going to pull you through here. Dates. Wonderful evening. But let's hear from you quickly. 0776 105 105 881 14 3504. You listen to our guests explaining why we're in the issues here. You listen to the panelists asking questions. Maybe you want to add up to them, or you want to understand some things from our guests here this wonderful time. It's about time that you put in your calls and let's hear from you. 0776 105 105 881 14 3504. Let's go on a line because Emmanuel S. Doe, the retired captain. But welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, am I live?
Yes, you are live.
Hello?
Let me see the audio line again. Hold on 1 minute. All right, let's push us from this side. Go ahead.
Should I call back?
No, go ahead. You live now.
Am I live? Are my professors getting me?
Yeah, they are getting you.
Thank you. Good evening to you and good evening to our professors, welcome in the evening class. And let me say the pleasant good evening to the studio guest who is coming to be one of our professors. Thank you. My name is retired Captain Emmanuel S. Do, otherwise known as Berekatu. You don't force by compare to do only the right thing. Thank you, sir, for all of your deliberation. But I got a question. For the betterment of this class, we the laymen that are listening to be able to understand it better, there I'm going to draw my question from. When you say autopsy to be conducted on a body, the layman down the line will want to know what is autopsy and what is the sole purpose of conducting autopsy on a dead body. Thank you for having us. Mr. Alexander Wulu,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear from you this weekend, sir. Please shake out yourself.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. 0776-105-105 0776-105-105 and you're going to be live here tonight on top 105.3 0776-105-105 those of you watching this, we want to make a point. You can just use the last number on the screen. It's our WhatsApp number. You just listen to me read out the number. The orange number is also our WhatsApp number. So you can just place a call through and we're going to put you in 0776 105 105 881 1435 04 0881 1435 04 0776 105 105. We're going to allow about 3 minutes to you or 2 minutes. If we can get one or two, and then we have to go back. Like I said, for me, I don't like to keep guests waiting, right? Yeah. So it will give the opportunity to go back time. If we can get you, we get back to the guest to respond to the question asked to him. Yeah, and then we also continue on the show here. So it's about time that you put in your calls and let's hear from you. You've been listening, following this show from start up to present. So it's about time that you have the opportunity to call and ask our guests. Maybe you want to join the panelists. It's about time. Let's go on the line and hear from this person. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Your name and where do you join us from?
My name is Emmanuel D. and I join you for prayer.
Emmanuel, welcome to the show.
Thank you. My question to the DJ,
Mm-hmm.
if what he's saying put our knowledge to understand, how would be his recommendation to our community in the country? Thank you.
Come again with your question.
I said,
Mm-hmm.
according to what the CEO girl is saying and I monitor or listen to him,
Mm-hmm.
what would be his recommendation to our government or to the police in Liberia? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. What would be his recommendation up to the Liberia police? Thank you for
Yeah,
being part of the show. We take one more
thank
call
you.
and then go back quickly to our guest here 0776 105 105 881 1435 04 0776 105 105 881 1435 04 11:27. I'm going to give it back to the panelists and continue on the show. So we have 1 minute. Within the 1 minute, we can screen out one person here quickly and then go back to the panelists. 0776 105 105 881 1435 04 0776 105 105 881 1435 04 and let's hear from you. While we are waiting here, we take our 10 some and keep it rolling here as we await your call.
Shout! Sheku Koroma! Ready! Archie right! He not play! Alex Fiulu! Right! Producer correct! On tonight, we beg to this day. I beg to differ, my people.
Let's follow it there. Welcome back, Brother Katu.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You know, such a lesson that is in class because of the uniqueness and the importance of it. Our instructors, we choose to always ask questions to learn better. My next question to our professor is there any institution in Liberia or anywhere in Liberia that one can go to learn about pathology or autopsy? If yes, where can we find such? If no, is he also willing to come and contribute in that direction by teaching people that will at least come after him when he shall retire tomorrow from all of these activities? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Katu, for being part of the show. Keep listening. We're going to get back to the guests and then respond to others' two questions. So, Mr. Wright, we'll hold it like this, hold on to the caller, and then give it back to you guys. So you can take charge now.
Thank you, Mr. Wulu. Thank you
Thank you,
so much.
Mr. Wulu. Thank you so much.
And thanks to all of our callers for being part of the show this evening. Mr. Nippy, this is where we come back to you and you respond to our listeners with the various questions that they ask you. I'm hoping that you were able to jot down the questions and respond to them accordingly. So it's now up to you, sir. Mr. Nippy? Oh, hold on, I think. Let me take him.
And that's the 4 months I've selected to use. The last question was, is there...
Hello? I had you muted. So if you can you begin with the first question, answering the question over, please. You were muted while you were talking. We didn't hear.
Oh, okay. I want to start from the bottom to the top.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
So the last question was, is there any institution in Liberia to study the science of pathologies or autopsy? I don't know because I'm not in that realm of medical study. But I think if the question could be raised with the Minister of Health and Social Welfare, that is a good opportunity for them to answer. But I do know that after you have qualified yourself as a medical doctor, you want to choose a course, and then you want to be a pathologist, a cardiologist, or whatever you may wish to be. So specifically to the question, I don't know whether there's any institution that provides that the guidance to the competency. The second question was with regards to the recommendation to the police. What will I recommend? I think the IG is a capable hands on the job. Because of my professional experience, I cannot minimize him because I am not infallible, neither infallible nor can I do everything right. We are human beings. We can err. But I would like to advise that in such instances, or whenever such occurrence may be in the public's or bring to the public attention, whomever it is, because I know one thing, we were trained when we were being trained, that no one is above the law. No one. I, Christopher J Nippy, despite or in spite of my being popular, having played for RE, Barrow, Jet, and then the Liberian National Team, that does not negate the fact that if I am wrong, if I'm legally wrong, I should be arrested, to answer why I did what I should not have done. I should not go with impunity. Because when impunity is a societal element, it gives rise to those who are coming after us to say, I can do anything, man, and go on the radio and just cuss the people or talk anything I want to talk, and then I'll be free. No, it should not be that way. We must respect the government that we have. And to respect the government correlates with respecting your father in the womb. Let's look at it again. Let me speak a metaphor here. The government is like a home. The president is the family of that home. Whether he is short, whether he is fat, whether he is tall, whether he is handsome or is ugly, it is incumbent upon the children. The context is the citizen to respect the president, be it a female or a male, and the laws that have been structured for obedience by even the very lawmaker. The very lawmakers are on our obligation to respect the law that they made. You cannot put in policy in a company and you, the managing director or the manager in that office, you cannot obey the very policy that you wrote. So it becomes counterproductive. If we are going to elevate the status of a person beyond the justice, the perimeters of justice, it is unwholesome. It is unwholesome. No matter who you are, whether you former president, you former king, when you spoil the law, they say when you break it, own it. And when you own it, fix it. You got to go to the law to answer questions. So my advice to my dear brother, the RG, in whom I have enormous respect, he should fear not. He should fear not. When this kind of incident happen, let him be thorough. He does not have to appear on the scene. Give the appropriate instruction. Unless the instruction is illegal, the police will not obey. But when the instructions are legal, they are under extreme obligation to obeying what comes from the directive of the office of the director.
Okay.
Well, we used to call it director during those days, and then during the new dispensation, the office is being called Inspector General of Police. That will be my only advice. One, nobody is above the law. Nobody, absolutely nobody is above the law. That's what they taught us. Two, when a crime has been committed, you make sure you protect the scene so that the pieces of evidence you want to gather cannot go. That would be my advice to, or my suggestion to the Honorable Director of Police, Honorable Coleman. That would be the specificity of my advice.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Nippy. You are ready doing our justice here tonight. And I see Mr. Day drop off. Hopefully he comes back. But we got Madam Claudia with us. So, Madam Claudia, I'm going to give you the chance to ask 3 questions. Because
great. Wow.
You guys are in Liberia there. The time is running fast on you. So we're going to give you all the time to do all your questions.
I'm jealous now because I only asked 2 questions.
It's okay. You'll be okay. Go ahead, Madam Claudia.
Okay, so my first question is this. You have literally twined in so many sectors in Liberia. You know so much. But my question to you is, what did you really aspire to want to be that you probably couldn't have become? Therefore, you just kind of like, drifted wherever you thought you could fit in. That's my first question.
Mm.
My second question is, you having that security background, having worked with the police, and I know Liberian police work based off of logistics and working with people that have the past experience of helping them, deal with this logistics. So can you without exposing so much, could you disclose to us if you have any endorsements presently with the police and what your duty might be? Because you being a veteran, and I know that they really work with veterans. Maybe you could tell us, are you involved in that? Because if you are, then you know a lot about what's going on security wise as it relates to the public, the community, because that's the level where the police really reach. And my third question is, why do Liberian police operate on sentiment? I see a lot of them on Facebook. They're posting pictures, posting in uniform and guns, like they're taking a fashion photo. And they read a lot of posts that people post. If I'm emotionally attached, for example, to this Sam Jackson case, and I'm like, oh, it's bad. The police literally say, okay, this is bad. We got to get that man. Everybody's like, it's bad. Let's get him. Shouldn't the police have done it the right way? We call you in for questioning. If you don't come,
My sister Claudia, that
yes,
will conclude your third question, right?
yes, okay,
Thank
yes.
you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Mr. Nippy, she was about to conclude a tech question.
Oh, now go ahead.
Okay, so the police saw the sentiment of Sam Jackson's case.
Mm-hmm.
Said, okay, we got to fight for the rights of women. We got to get him. We got to get up in there. But by law, he should have been invited. If he didn't appear, some kind of subpoena should have been delivered, a letter of, please come to the station. If he has a lawyer, it would have been delivered to the lawyer for him to intermediate with his client. But instead, the police start putting out warrants and social media press releases and all kinds of stuff. Hey, we're charging him, we're looking for him. Y'all bring him in, turn yourself in. Secondly, instead of investigating first, autopsy first, and doing the things that make a case strong to be able to apprehend now people, they started with arresting him, detaining him, and then doing the investigation. Now, in Liberia, when a crime is committed, there's one thing that we look at, and that's footprints. Footprints let you know every visitor that has ever entered within that premises.
Mm-hmm.
You have a pair of footprints now. That's your only evidence you have. She could have had a visitor. She could have had friends that know how to sneak in the compound. The house looked very vulnerable. Staff knows to mind their business. Anything could have happened. So why do police, instead of just doing it the right way, do it the way they feel like I want them to do it? Because I posted, hey, police need to work harder. Why do they work on sentiment? That's my third question.
Well, thank you very much, Sister Claudia. It's good that you raised those concerns. And let me, with a fair sense, I always like to free my mind when it comes to issue. I don't like to prejudge issue or any matter for that. The police, as I said earlier, people, I'm not talking about Sam Jackson specifically, but people have the when they commit such a crime to run away. But I know Sam is a very, very intelligent person, very dignified. He would not have absconded from the scene. I have already said that the police should have caught on that area. And the reason there was to make sure that they preserve the evidence, such as fingerprints, lift the fingerprints, want to know where the woman, what happened in the house, whether there was a blunt instrument. A blunt instrument could be a knife, it could be an axe, it could be a stick. That was used because uh, we understand, or we were made to understand that she was bleeding profusely. So the question in an investigator mind would be, why was she bleeding profusely? Might it have been a blow to her temple? Or the man took a belt and the buckle hit her head? Or he took a rattan or a stick and lammed it on her head? The incident of hemorrhage from the head, or from the nose, should not be on unless something quite outside of the ordinary has happened. That's how I will answer that question. Now, then we come, why is Liberia, the police act on sentiments? Whether that issue can be anchored on sentimentality, I don't know. What I know from a professional point of view is that Mr. Jackson, I am not above the law. I was taught that, look here, you being a police officer, you're not above the law. And you were taken from the public to protect the public. And you have only an 8-hour job to do in your uniform. That does not divorce you from performing the duties when you are in plain clothes. So like I said, once a general, you are always a general. 8-hour finish, you go and put on your mufti, as we call it. It does not exclude you from performing your duty. What would I, and I'm being I'm personifying this I to myself, what would I have done? I would have ensured, divorce or whatever the sentiment as you have alluded to, I would divorce myself or any sentiment. Sam is my friend, yes. But I cut her off the area, and first and foremost, to protect himself. Because what if there were people aggrieved, and they said, we will get to that man there, they will kill him. So when they kill him, the case is spoiled. So the first thing you have to do is to get the living body of the alleged perpetrator, and then you secure him. And in this specific case is not a regional case. It has a wider latitude. Latitude in the sense that if you look at it from the context of a human being, Sam is that head on the body. Sam is that head on the body. The right hand is for the Republic of Liberia, and the left hand, the heart, is for the people of South Africa, where her parents hail, where he took his bride from. So the case can be internationalized. And we cannot subject Liberia's international image for a single individual, because no man can be bigger than Liberia. No lady can be bigger than Liberia, because the laws are there. So he should have been apprehended for protective reason why the case is being probed. Then we bring in the autopsy. The autopsy will be able to lift up if somebody were to touch her, slap her, as in the case, to her head, and then it caused contusion, and then she passed out eventually. Those fingerprints will be on the jaw. The coroner, the pathologist will find those things out. is she was induced with person that oh, well, give me a cup of coffee, and coffee, in that coffee something was put inside, or in that tea something was put inside, and that lady drank it. The pathologist will find that out. So that's the reason why you preserve the scene, or those are the reasons why you have to protect the scene and cordon off anybody from coming in, with the exception of the homicide investigation team, which is being backed up by police like the FBI would do here in the United States. And those will be my answer. I hope I've answered your question. Oh, you talk about logistics. You mentioned about logistics. I don't know what the budget of the police is. I don't know what in that budget is contained for the provision of logistics. But I will hope that the police director has done his due diligence to put in those things that he needs, because you cannot play with public safety. Let me go to the office of the president. The president is for execution of the law, and the police work under the Ministry of Justice to execute the law. So the police cannot put in $5 and say, no, we cannot give you $5. The most you can do is say, okay, we'll give you $5.50. So you cannot be caught with your pants down. Uniforms, arms, and other logistics. Cameras to be issued to the homicide department, and all of those things, recordings, so that the police can do the work of protecting life and property. Because that's the primary reason for any police officer, to protect life and property under the law. Under the law. Okay. And then I'm sure what Director Comer is doing right now is to talk to the government for those things that are absent. That will give him to maximize his effectiveness, because I think he's very efficient, to maximize his effectiveness in executing the functions of appertaining to the organization. And that will be, those will be the
Okay. I'm sorry. I just wanted to know, like, are you involved in any kind of way with the police right now?
I was coming to that point. No, I'm not involved in anything that has to do with policing. I am not involved in anything. In my opening statement, there's nothing in when it comes to security that I don't know, that I have not done. I have done both covert and overt operations. Both covert. Covert is when you're doing undercover, clandestine, and all that kind of thing. Overt is when you're doing open. You got on uniform so that people can see you. I've done all of those things. I've done them. Okay. My training dates back to 1966, when what is now called the CIA was called ICA. So the acronym is reversed. Instead of ICA during my tenure of training, it is now called CIA. So that tells you exactly that I was well trained.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Nippy. Now we'll go to Mr. Day. Mr. Day, Constable Day, you're going to ask the last two questions, because you asked the first question before we went to the line. So you got two more questions to ask our guests from your end.
Actually, I do not have a question, because I almost agree with almost everything that in this world. And I see what as a prosecutor, imagine we prosecute most of our cases, conceptual evidence they're lacking out of, and these are the things he's saying, and we agree with that. Where there's a crime being committed, especially or sexual-related crimes, the first responsibility is to correct the crime scene. That it is, and I agree with him. To the crime scene, it will give the investigator the opportunity to gather these pieces of evidence to take it for forensic examination. But howbeit, we are not relating that to the same case. We are not saying that has not been done. But I already agree with him, so I do not have a question.
All right, so let me come back to you. Who is on this case? Who is the prosecutor on this case?
The Liberian government.
It happened in Mosul. Yeah, it happened in Mosul rather than it's under the jurisdiction of the Mosul County Attorney.
Okay. All right. All right. So,
So he is a lead prosecutor.
He's a lead prosecutor. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Day. I really want to ask you tonight, but because your prosecutor office, I think we need a real question here tonight. But anyways, let me go back to Mr. Nippy. Mr. Nippy, I have before I have a different question from this is away from the Sam Jackson case, if you don't mind. Let me pick your brain on this. So I think it was last week, Madam Devita Lasana, the former NEC boss, resigned her position. And when we were looking at her tenure, and even the people before her from 2005, we'll look at the amount of elections we had, presidential elections, and other midterm elections. We came to the conclusion that the data proved that between 120 to 180 million was spent in that period on general elections and midterm elections. And the election commission was the principal body that oversaw all these elections. She is leaving the scene. And we look at the current state of the National Election Commission. We see that a lot needs to be done. First, we have this deplorable attitude with contestants of trucking voters across the country. We know that the issue, and that is playing to the integrity of every elections in the country, right? Because people are moving here and they vote anywhere, anyhow they want to vote. And we're looking at the money that has been spent, and everything, all that the former commissioner could tell us was that she is proud. Her milestone achievement was that she was able to renovate the building. That when passerbys are passing by the building, they can point to the paint on the building. Do you see that as money well spent on the commission? And that was she right to say that?
All right, thank you so much. So your question, you said, do you see that as what? Money well expended?
Right. And was she in the right when she said her milestone should be, the physical look of the building rather than the institutional change that she could have implemented before she left?
All right.
Why you laugh, Mr. Nippy?
Because wherever I work, like when I'm working with LPMC, I always have the pleasure of receiving auditors from London, Price Waterhouse. Auditors will come. So I want to inject in the conversation that institution should be audited, because the funds in relation to 120 to 180 million dollars, it would seem to be too small, maybe. considering what she had to do. And on the flip side, it would be too much for which it is necessary to give an account and not to look at a building that I think prior to the facing of the USARD, the U.S. government was instrumental in refurbishing, revarnishing, bringing in equipment, and then helping in the construction of that building or making it a suitable place of work. But something runs to my mind, which was lacking because I went to Liberia and I still have my registration card. I did not see any equipment for voting. There were certain things that were lacking. The vehicles were inadequate to have police the county, all over the county. I think we heard on radio that some of the people that were responsible for the conduct of the election, both presidential and midterm elections, could not get to their various assignments on time. The issues of ballots insufficiency were allegedly in the public domain, and other issues are pertaining to how the money was expended. But I'm not in the position to question the tenure of Madam Commissioner. I respect her very, very highly because I think she did a wonderful, wonderful job against the background that she was sometimes, her life was threatened, but she mustered the courage to have done a very fine job. So it is left with the government, whether they see it fit or whether they don't see it fit. It is the determination of the government. They have the parastatals that can revisit for tenure to determine whether or not the money was expended wisely, whether there were malfeasance or misfeasance, which I wouldn't think happened because she's a lawyer. And so I think she was prudent in exercising those duties pertaining to the office that she held before exiting at this point in time. That would be my answer.
Okay. So now we'll go to Veteran Smith. Veteran Smith, are you there? Veteran Smith? Okay. Mr. Nubo. Mr. Nubo?
I'm here. Okay. I think we need to go back to Mr. Day because you said that after the colors, he was going to ask his second question.
Oh no, I did. I went to him, but he said he would have had a comment, not a question.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you want to give a time to him, you can go to him.
Okay, let me give my time to him and you come back to me.
Okay.
If you forget, I will forever I will be bothering you.
Mr. David may want to be nice to you today. Do you have any comment or question? Mr. Day or Councilor Day?
Are you getting me?
Yes, we are now.
Yes.
Honorable Nippy?
Yes, Councilor.
When you due to Liberia? When are you due to
Um,
Liberia?
When I'm due to
No,
Liberia.
not you. That's the guest. The guest.
No,
Okay.
not the guest.
uh, uh, Honorable Council, I am looking at the things are unequal here in the United States, and so I'm trying to view the horizon and see what opportunity presents itself for me to come to Liberia, and whether it is for visit, whether it is to do some private things there that God may strengthen my hands to do. I'm looking at the windows that presents an opportunity of being able to come in and to come to my country of birth, which I love so dearly, and then return here where I have my children and grandchildren. So tentatively, I would say in due course, in due course or due time.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I asked because as I speak, I am the vice president of the National Prosecutor Association of Liberia,
Mm.
and I think we will see. My president myself will extend an invitation to you to see how best you will help all prosecutors. Because as from your experience, you have some basis that will guide us. Imagine we deal with some investigators who we may say have some training through UNMILS or the United Nations, where there are so many limitations. And with your level of experience, we will let you, I will even discuss it with the Solicitor General. To be frank, we will want you to be around to really help prosecutors and other investigators to build that capacity to see how best to carry proper investigation proceeding.
Well, I raise my hat off to you and say thank you. It brings in the question of Jesus. Is a prophet respected in his own country? And so, with you luminaries, legal luminaries, if you can come up with that, then I think some due consideration will be given to that request.
I appreciate you. So
It's frozen.
It's frozen.
You talk about the arrest is necessary to put him on a protected custody. Don't you think it was undermine the proceeding as well? Because when you on a criminal investigation, we have what we call pre-arrest investigation and
Is that the question, or is that? Or a statement?
Is the question. No, I just asking. Is the question. Don't you think it is necessary that the police do?
Mr. Nippy, his line is frozen. So, okay, there you go.
There are two key elements. There are two key elements before the corridor of the. If I got your question correctly, there are two key elements that the police look at.
Mr. Nippy, can he repeat the question? I don't know if we even heard what he said. You're in and out.
Please repeat the question.
Unmute yourself.
Counsel?
We're still listening and we are not even hearing him.
So, don't you think it is necessary? Yeah, I'm saying that don't you think it is necessary that the police are are you getting me?
Yeah, I'm listening to you, Counsel.
Go ahead.
Are you getting me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. My question is on the necessity of pre-arrest investigation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, Don't you think it was necessary that the police use the pre-arrest investigative method other than arresting him and conducting the investigation?
Well, let me put
That
it
is
in
to
a
say, where
hypothetical.
in the
My
event they
answer will
will
be very
collect all the CC.
hypothetical.
Mhm.
My answer will be
Okay.
hypothetical.
Okay, yes.
Mr.
Go ahead.
X commits a crime on Miss Y or Mr. D. There's a high probability that Mr. X could abscond the scene and go away. You can avoid that person from absconding or running away from the scene and causing government to pay per dam transportation to be searching, and if the person is in a foreign land, to go and get a secondary Interpol to look for the person. That would be a waste of time of justice. That's number one. Number two, the person knowing the case, how serious the matter is, they could commit suicide. You don't want that to happen. Because if the suicide happens, then whom do you ask? Who are you going to ask? Why did you do this? How did you do it? When did you do it? You will only be limited to looking at the body of the individual and say the person was shot, as I said in my previous answer. Or you say, oh, they used a bottle and hit the person in the head. But the question is always obvious to ask. Who committed the crime? Why did the person commit the crime? Where was the crime committed? In the specific case of Mr. Jackson, the crime was committed, allegedly the murder crime or manslaughter was committed within the confines of his domicile. And that's why Mr. Jackson, protective custody, the assumption is, knowing the weight of the crime, if he was some other person, he would have shot himself. And then the whole case is blown out. Nobody to argue. Just send the poor girl to South Africa or have her buried, interred in Liberia. So what is the most responsible thing to do as a criminal investigator? There are two essential things that come along. A probable cause is why a police will raid a place without a rate of arrest, because it's a probable cause or a matter of exigency. And when those things tied into a crime, you cannot waste time. Because when you waste time, the evidence to be brought before the jurors will be dispensed of, will be compromised, will be non-existent. So why do you carry a case to the place and the prosecuting attorney cannot prove it? How does the police charge a man with manslaughter or murder when the police itself has no evidence? So it is contingent on the prime merit of acting with speed and being very, very, very precise in what you are doing to collect the requisite evidence, fingerprint, the bottle that was used, the stick that was used, the dough, and all of those things, doing the measurement. Where did the woman lie? The woman is alleged to have lied between the bed and the door. How many feet from the door to the cups? What is the height from the bed to the cups? What is the length of the woman's leg to the wall? What is the length of the lady's head to the wall? All of those dimensions will give rise to establishing a prima facie case. In the absence of those elements, the key elements, I beg to differ. There will be no case to be established. And that's why primarily the police universally will secure the alleged perpetrator of a crime. Whether it is burglary that went wrong and somebody died, you want to catch that criminal and protect the criminal so that people can boss it too and he dies. So that would be what I will say, the reason pertaining to why you do those things that are necessary, such as protecting the person, because the person himself could be or herself could be a victim. The woman could kill her husband, and she herself becomes a victim by killing herself. So you have two victims. What is the case about? One committed suicide, that's the woman who killed her husband, and the husband is deceased. Whom do you ask? So you have to preserve the life of that lady so that she can go to the court of competent jurisdiction to be asked a relevant question before a grand jury. The impanel, let me put it in this sense, the impanel jurors who would then come up with the appropriate determination.
Thank you. I'm about to seize my flow.
Is that Mr. Lobo?
Yeah, that Mr. Nubo. Well, let add Mr. Day if he's done. I say because he's almost going to want to hit there. Mr. Day, you done?
Yes, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I'm done.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I think it was Madam Smith that asked if our distinguished guest said that the crime scene was contaminated. I want to say, whether it was contaminated or not, or if it was contaminated and how, and I want him to comment on it.
All right.
Okay, I'm still there. If the scene is contaminated, we look at evidence. That evidence is moved or disturbed. New materials are introduced into the scene. Biological traces, blood, hair, blah, 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 are mixed or destroyed. People walk through or handle the handle before the investigator got there. And we know that the I don't know, the maid or the cook wiped the blood on the floor before the investigator got there. And there should be weather issue. And as you said earlier, I agree with you that they should have sealed that area. I believe you are here, O.J. Simpson trial.
If it doesn't fit,
If it doesn't fit,
You must acquit.
you must acquit. Yes.
So that is, and I'm kind of surprised. We have Councillor Day here. I mean, questioning you on these things here. Where's it coming from? Huh? I'm from West Point. Is it West Point or Anthony? Or Councillor? So my question is, okay, I want to say that the crime scene was contaminated. I'm environmental engineer. When we say contaminated or we say contamination, I know what we're talking about. So, with this, your I don't compromise or what kind of word you use. Do you believe that a crime scene was contaminated? That's my question.
Well, contaminated. When something is contaminated, well, let me before I answer. Let me say thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's a very important question to be answered. You can interchangeably use contaminated or compromise because something is contaminated. It has a tendency to have been compromised.
Right.
And so we can interchangeably use either of those two words.
Thank you.
But my specificity of my point was it was compromise, and because foreign elements came into the scene, foreign elements breached the scene. Foreign elements that had nothing to do with the crime were all parading in and out of the house.
Right.
So the lifting of blood, and then we come to realize the body was moved. Before the police got there, the body was moved. And importantly, you have just mentioned that the cook in the house wiped the blood, which ought not to have happened because that's a crime scene. So if you look at it, the crime scene was tampered with. And when something is tampered with, there's a tendency for you to look at it as or view it as being compromised. So the objective of the case.
Let me come in as engineer,
Uh,
civil and environmental engineer. I call it contaminated.
no, I agree. That's why I say we can interchangeably use all of the two words.
Okay.
No, I mean, Mr. Nubo, I'm in full agreement with you. Contaminated, compromised, tempered with, we can interchangeably use all of them. And because the reason why I think you say contaminated is that foreign elements were introduced on the scene, and they will have to have a good evidence. You should not breach the premises.
Okay.
So that the fingerprints can be lifted, the visual measurements can be done, the things that were used. What if somebody took, if it was a hammer that was used on the lady's head or a gunshot? We don't know. That means the evidence is destroyed.
Thank you.
The evidence would have been destroyed. And this is why Cochrane was so concise and precise in the fact that when they brought the gloves and the gloves could not fit OJ Simpson, he said, if it cannot fit, then you have to dispense of the man.
Yeah, then quit.
Then quit him.
Then quit. Yes.
So if the evidence are not in collaboration or cooperate with what the crime of Mrs. Soning Jackson is, Mr. Jackson will be eventually acquitted.
Okay.
Why? Because someone might have tempered, compromised, contaminated the scene.
Okay.
So the essential elements that will have corroborated the findings of the autopsy that the police will then stand on, because there must be a legal platform for the charges to be raised, for the prosecution to be strong. You cannot give the prosecution no arm and you go and stand in the court that you ain't got no gunshot to fire. You got nothing to say. So why send the man to the court when the evidence has been destroyed? That's why I strongly say, I maintain my point. And I think any professional police officer, if they look at what happened, they will tell you the thing was either contaminated, tampered with, or compromised.
Okay.
So with that, I want to thank you very much for raising that question, sir.
Yeah, but my last question, my second
Yes, sir.
question is, we are here, speaking, they be contaminated, compromised.
Yeah.
How can
You just realized that, Mr.
I
Nugo.
want you, I
Uh,
want you to explain it in a waterside English to the people of Nigeria, to the people of Liberia, and to some of us, the panelists who are confused.
okay. Well, my people, the panelists, and all my people, my Mary, my Cecilia, my Annie, they think what happened in Mr. Jackson area to Mr. Jackson house. The people say Mr. Jackson killed his wife. Mr. Jackson said, no, I don't kill my wife. My wife got problems. So when I come, my wife was having blood all over. So I take my wife and carry her to the hospital for the people to examine her. While the people were doing the work, my wife died. So they think my people, I don't do it. Well, I see here the people who supposed to, who our children then who will pay. Who they say the police people, the people who when you do something, they're in the village. When you do something, the clan chief, the paramount chief, the district commissioner can send an officer, can send somebody there to catch you. So you can come to the clan chief, the paramount chief, the district commissioner, or the quarter chief. So you can answer what happened. They didn't do it. That one don't happen at all. It never happened. Everybody, just a flag going somewhere, they enter inside the house. The quick people say, when things like that happen, nobody must go there. Say. The person who do it, you must catch the person because the person can be scared. Because sometimes you do something before you think. You can't think good when you're too vexed. You will do the thing. Woo! When you not do that, woo! And the person died, then you say, hey, if I know, I'm not going to do it. Oh. Then if we say, or we are, or Koruba, or Nipe, as I say, the one year when the people catch me, I'm more than 20 years old. Because the woman come from Ghana. The woman we're talking from, she come from South Africa. So the man is just your hair, your body. The man are the hair, because he the people say cause the problem. On the right hand are Liberia, that he power. On the left hand are the woman people. So the man in the center, they trouble well for down. So when they take him to the court and the court say it's wrong, Liberia government say, for can we'll put you in jail for 2 months or we'll put you in jail for 10 years. After Liberian government finish with him, the people in South Africa will say, no, you can't pay our daughter for nothing. So we're coming for you to America. Then they will come and take him. It will be law business. Then if Liberia agree, pam, then Mr. Jackson will go to South Africa. South Africa people say, well, you can't be here to come here and say that when you kill somebody in our country or our citizen, we can put you on the gallon and we'll kill you. Then Mr. Jackson will bear that weight. That's why I say. So I say for the people to know that that Mr. Jackson do it or Mr. Jackson don't do it. Nobody was supposed to go inside our house. If nobody, that room, the police people were supposed to go there, close that gate. Take the key from Mr. Jackson. Close the gate. Carry him to the police station to protect him. The first thing was the police supposed to protect Mr. Jackson. Because people think he didn't want to kill his wife. And so the police don't want for Mr. Jackson to kill himself. Because the word died. Now Mr. Jackson died too now. Then what happened now? Who is going to care to the court now? Who is going to care to the court? Then they can't finish. Because well that husband died. Case closed. So that's why I say the police, they should have, they were supposed to go to that hall, close the hall. You John David, you're not supposed to come inside that yard there. When after everything finished, Mr. Jackson, he do nothing, you can go sympathize with Mr. Jackson because his wife died. But when our daughter died, we want to know why our daughter died. When our son died, we want to know who killed our son. And that's why I say about people.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
swear to God. I got
No,
I got a clap for that. Don't you?
okay.
Yes.
Well, actually, let me learn first.
I have to clap for that. Don't you?
We must
That's a
crown.
transition that requires
We
clapping.
must crown Honorable Nippy as our waterside analyst. See, I was laughing throughout because he was punching the buttons that I was looking for. so, Honorable Nippy,
Yes, sir.
you have to be a staple on the show here.
I do, right?
You can't run away. Hey, no escape for you. I know you heard that before.
I surrender, sir. I surrender myself.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Okay, let's go to Veteran Smith, Veteran First Smith.
Okay. So the lies shall always be the fights. So let me go right to my question, Honorable Nippy.
I mean,
Yes,
we'll call
sir.
you.
Let's
You are
look.
busy. We'll call you. You are busy.
No, not tomorrow. That. Let's go. Let me go to my question. National issue, national security issue.
Yes, sir.
I think you understand what is happening with our boundary, the past, the present, and the future,
Yes,
and
sir.
specifically what is going on in Foya, the border of Foya and Guinea in Lofa County.
Yes, sir.
In diplomacy, it states that if you do not solve a border issue and you go through gentleman agreement, the person will come back and claim that land. So,
Mm.
can you take us through the journey? What have happened to dispute on our border, and what is going on now that our president and the president of Sierra Leone all went into Guinea to resolve the problem, but today people woke up. We could see the Guinean forces in Kino crossing
Mm-hmm.
the Kavala water to a border called Suluma border, coming into our military retreating. So, what's going on with the diplomacy, as you understand it, and how can our people be calm about it?
All right, Mr. Nubo was very generous with me, and he asked me not to talk too much book. So I'm not going to go. I will not elevate my language. I will go right on the. What happened as far back as when I was in elementary school at St. Patrick's High School? There was a history book that we read by Abakanga, Dr. Abakanga, a Liberian historian. That information was also given to us by Dr. Joseph C. Guano, former Liberian ambassador to the United States. And in that book, there was a gentleman called Benjamin J.K. Anderson, a surveyor. Honorable Numbo, a technically prepared and very versatile surveyor. And our people, whenever they heard the wind blowing because of the echo of the tree, they said that was a devil mountain. So when Benjamin J.K. Anderson decided to do that exploration, they asked him, don't go there because the devil there. When you go there, the devil will eat you. But he got some men and they went. It was not a devil mountain, as he reported. I think it was during the tenure of Arthur Barclay, if I'm not mistaken. It was in the 18 something, Arthur Barclay. When he got there, he saw LIB, in Zadikore, where we have our consulate, the Liberian consulate. Then you have Franana. Then you have Gegedu. Then you have Masanta. Those areas had on the cornerstone LRB. Anyone who read the book will bear this statement as true. And so he came back to the people and said, oh, no, 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 no. And then what he discovered palm trees. He discovered palm trees as being the borderline of the Republic of Liberia. But something out of the ordinary will happen before Guinea independence in 1957 or there about 58. Before that time, that area called the Republic of Guinea was referred to as the French Guinea. There were several instruments that were concluded with specific reference to the border. I think it's approximately 350 square miles. And that border question was resolved. I have begun the research. Because that was what I was doing here. Before we go to the State Department, we got to look at certain research before we can angle on the points we want to make. But around 1836 or thereabout, 37, the French government had settled the question of border. They had settled that question. And that being the case, when after President Tubman took over by 1957, we had the first meeting, the birth, which was the birth of the Organization of African Unity in Saniquele, Nimba County. Nimba County is the birth home of the OAU. Present at the meeting was His Excellency Ahmed Sékou Touré, President of Guinea at the time, and Prime Minister Kwame Nkrumah, Francis Weah in parentheses. Francis Weah. That was his name. The man referred to at the time as Prime Minister of the Gold Coast was Francis Weah.
Yes.
So they came to that conference. And then after that, subsequently, President Tubman on Ashmore Street invited Haile Selassie. And that's how they did it. They said, you brought the idea, but my country, man said, I did not, well, nobody control me. So my country will be the seat, the headquarters of the OAU, which has more forced, which has now gone to be AU, African Union, modeled after the European Union.
Yeah.
So that question was phased out. But for political expediency, and what is expedient cannot be right sometimes. Like one of the panelists on Spoon Talk said last night, a gentleman from Guinea. But I don't want to go there. Let me be quick. Let me digress from that angle. I will take my hat off to the delegation that was led by the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Yomabaka, retired General Madabio of His Excellency, retired General Madabio of the Republic of Sierra Leone, and then Guinea, the current leader of Guinea, for understanding the intricacies or the complexity or the technical points about your neighbor that your best friend. Your neighbor is always your best friend. And then they came up with the communique, the reach and understanding for national security, for peace, and to permit our people to be as they always were, commerce and what have you. And so I thank the president for using wisdom You see, diplomacy is like the quiet storm in the river. It will just be revolving, revolving, revolving before you can see the action on the top, and you know, oh, something was turning on this here. Diplomacy is never a problem, because what diplomacy seeks to do is that the problem or the barrier or the complexities or the trouble that are happening, diplomacy goes there to solve it. That's why when we were trained, the professor said, when the guns shall have sounded, and people have died, and corpses are littered, there comes a time when people must sit around the rectangular seat, the rectangular decks, former enemies, and then they go around the oval decks, the oval table where the touching arm now, they know you on the full side table, no. This higher guy is side, the other one guy is side, the other one is no. Then you see people then and then after that. That's what's diplomacy. I'm talking in a layman's term. That was diplomacy seeks to bear. Is the fruit of negotiation, tactful negotiation, skillful negotiation. So for us who studied that science, we say it contains a toolbox. And the toolbox is you have to be patient in negotiating. And that's exactly what His Excellency President Joseph Yoman Boakai, President Marabio, His Excellency President Marabio of the sisterly Republic of Sierra Leone, and the host, President Nkrumah did. That came through with the writing of a beautiful document called a communique. Now, I'm being told as we sit as a panel, as your guest on your program, that a canoe breached the water with soldiers in it, and they hoisted the Guinean flag. Now, the rain will have to evaporate, the water will have to evaporate, condense, precipitate before it fall as a rain. And that's how diplomatic engagements thrive. The presidents went there, they wrote a very beautiful paper with Her Excellency, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, on whose ages the president has done tremendous work internationally. And then the local government minister, the national security advisor, the minister of national defense, and the chief of staff. I think it was a 5-member delegation. And I raise my hand and salute them. And you know, when I talk about Liberia, I'm very passionate about Liberia. I memorized the national anthem from the first word, all hail Liberia, here to enjoy with our hearts and gladness. We meet the fool with follow unpretending. With hearts and hands, the president, a man of wisdom, decided to have a team of polished personalities, professional people. In the company of the president was for the Minister of Foreign Affairs. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, who has been very, 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 very much efficient in doing the job. Decisions, like I said, like rain. When the decision emanates from the office of the president, it goes to the bureaucracy. It might not have gone to the chief of staff of the armed forces or the minister of defense of the armed forces of Guinea to be sent to the chief of staff and the battalion commander and all of the parastatals, the full parastatals of the military. And so my assumption is that the people did not know. The junior officer did not know, and they went and said, well, the same thing that we did, we got to do something. But I'm sure from the communique that was signed by our distinguished personalities, the president of the Republic of Liberia, the foreign minister, president of Guinea, president of Sierra Leone, will bear the equality seed. We bear quality seed such that we will not visit the border question again. And as I indicated, diplomacy is like a current under the water. You never see it until the action comes on top. Mrs. Beslow Yanti, I am sure, in the toolbox, the diplomatic toolbox, has taken other implements to go after certain things that we sort of cause this thing here to be strong, to build this foundation of relationship, because this is a Manuel River Union that was founded by President William Harold Talbot. And Talbot, like Tubman, saw the fierce urgency to ensuring that we remain in non-interference in the border of other people, non-interfering in the internal affairs of other people, but to forge a strong brotherly and sisterly relationship within the region. Moving one step further, Talbot again was instrumental in the formation of the ECOWAS community, of which here in the United States, I was privileged of becoming the chair on the ambassadors, the vice chair on the ambassadors group of Africa, and then the chairman of the Economic Community of West African Ambassadors Group. I was the chairman of that expert committee. They call it expert committee. And I served in that committee all the days I was in Washington, D.C. until I left. Whenever I said, oh, you changed me, I'm tired, I say, no, you cannot do that. And so I want to use this public domain, this radio, about those who honor the sound of my voice or who are listening to my voice, or who will be privileged subsequently to listen to the recording audio. Let's be calm. Let's be calm. You have Liberians in Guinea. You have Liberians in Sierra Leone. You have Guinea in Liberia, just as you have Sierra Leone in Liberia. You have Ivorian in Guinea, Ivorian in Liberia, Ivorian in Sierra Leone. Vice versa, you have Liberians in Sierra Leone, Guineans in Sierra Leone, and Sierra Leoneans in Ivory Coast too. So that matter is on the appropriate consideration, because they have started the conversation, landed into a communique, and I'm sure by the time the order is passed through the Ministry of Defense to come to the man, the foot soldier, that flag will be brought down. We are on an extreme obligation to therefore advise our citizens near that border area not to confront the Guineans, because I am sure that the president of the Republic of Guinea will honor the content of that communique. I should also note, why did our soldiers withdraw? In the face of aggression, you have to withdraw, you have to step back. If a man wants to blow you, you have to understand that when you blow that man back, then I heard well in Liberian language we call it biti, that's the crew word, biti. then there will be hell of a blow, there will be extinction. No, we don't need that. That's why President Boyka, Joseph Yuma Boyka, His Excellency Joseph Yuma Boyka, decided to move as quickly as lightning with his counterpart in Sierra Leone for them to breach this impasse. So our people in Nima County, because I worked in Nima with LPMC, along the Guinea border with Liberia, which is a turning road that crosses from the Catholic Church. As soon as you put your foot from the Catholic Church side, you go on the other side, you're in Guinea. And on Thursday or other Wednesday, it might have been changed. Guinea Road, you see Guineans coming with pepper, bitter ball, and all those kind of things. So we are brothers and sisters. We need not throw fists at each other. In due time, I am sure what the president and his entourage or delegation begun will bear fruit. The Liberians will be happy that we and our brothers and sisters in Guinea will be like before. I remember when I was playing, I think I met a Domoya before in Conakry too. He was happy. He was a soldier, and I think that the same soldier. He was happy to see me perform. And he came to a hotel Bezia. And he was speaking very broken English and superb French. And he said, "Oh, I like you." So I think he's a man to deal with. I think positive engagement is what we need to do.
Mr. Nippy, we have just 10 minutes to close up. So what I want us to do now.
Let me ask my second question.
Okay, but we all right. Ask your second question, Mr. Nippy. Let's keep it short because we got to close. The producer has to go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, my second question, I don't know which one to ask, but this is also Liberians. You also work on it effectively. Can you tell us the Liberians in the prison cells in America, when you were there, how you dealt with them, and under the new administration, what kind of arrangement? How many of our people are in jail in America, and what are the political implications, whether they remain or sending home? You being in a diplomatic mission, how that works when you have Liberians in prison and you had to deal with them. Can
Well,
you give
thank you very much. Important. When you have an assignment, you have to think about how to do it. The first thing is you have to know that you have to marry the interests of the Republic of Liberia with that of the United States of America. You cannot undercut out of those interests. So when you understand what the interest is all about, as I said initially, you are here to protect your citizen when you are at the embassy. You are there, but to forge, to foster, to strengthen the bilateral relationship between the sending country, in this case, which is Liberia, and the receiving country, which happens to be the United States of America. What did I do? Well, you have to be tactful. You have to use the tools that you have in the diplomatic box. And those tools, when you use them effectively and with efficiency, you can get the kind of result that you need. I had the privilege of working with the Ministry of, not Ministry, the Department, the U.S. Department of State, the Homeland Security and specifically ICE, Immigration and Custom Enforcement. There were many days that they felt I was doing the right thing, or I was not pushing my people out. But I had to think about a lot of things. We have come from war when Mrs. Sirleaf became the president of the Republic of Liberia. Her Excellency, let me qualify that, became the president of the Republic of Liberia. We could not overwhelm her while she was trying to put in the pegs of national unity, stability, reunification, integration, and all those things that she was wrestling with, looking for money to do these things that were necessary. And then take all the criminals from the United States, or those who were not properly credentialed, to Liberia. So I had an honest conversation with the people, and Americans can understand. If you know how to plot the mat, the diplomatic mat, or you know how to plot the net. When you plot the net, the way you're supposed to plot it, some of the fish will be in the water and some will come on shore. So that's the technique and the mechanics I use. And so we had a limited, number of persons that were brought to Liberia than those who are in the United States. What did I do next? I had a constructive engagement with the ICE, the Department of Homeland Security. And in our conversation, I brought up the point that my people, you say they should go. Now you say you will keep these ones here. But they cannot be in this country here and they're not working. So you got to give them some, you got to renew the TPS, the temporary protective status, and then you give them some opportunity to work. And they saw the validity of my conversation, the logic in it, and they agree with me. So if there were 200 persons to have been brought, of course the number was very, very high. I must have brought something like 35, and the rest, 165, they are in the United States. This is a hypothetical answer I'm giving you. They are here going to school, they are working, they got children and what have you. So that's how I was able to handle the removal and remaining of my citizens here. And then importantly, I thought about the economy. Madam Sirleaf needed money. We could not depend on IMF and World Bank alone. The remittances, the $10. So if we had 10 persons here that was sending $10, that would be $100. Immediately the $10 jumps into Liberia. What does it do? It raises the economic status of our people. And you know, the Liberia, we are very generous people, though there are some who don't send money. But that has been helping the government from time to time. I remember when I at the consulate, the chancellery, we used to, the remittances used to be more than $10 million sometimes. So that is the essence of why I decided not to just deport Liberians to Liberia. Because if my brothers were to work, my sisters were to work, their children were to go to school, it will benefit both Liberia and the United States. And that is why the American people took, because they were paying taxes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Nippy. At this point, we're out of time. Let me say thank you for coming. And we'll look forward to calling on you to give us some of your expert opinions on matters that we will be discussing, matters of national importance and those of international importance as well. It was a great time having you, and we're ready to look forward again having you. I'm sorry we're out of time. We have kept the producer in the studio. It's 4 to 1 a.m. in Liberia now. He has to go home, and so we will not close the show. And please don't make this your last time on the show. you're in the chat room. I go to you in the chat room that we spoke today, you and myself. I will get your number. We must have spoke before, and I'll call and remind you that we can't do this on the show. We'll do it off the show.
Okay.
Because it's a very important matter. You know Alvin Smith, right?
Oh, G. Alvin?
G. Alvin.
I know Alvin Smith. I knew his father, General Smith.
Yeah, he's a mutual friend. He connected us. I'll call you and get the whole rundown. But thank you again. Let me give you 30 seconds to give us your goodbye because we're really out of time.
Well, I see you as the moderator, the prime moderator of this show. I want to thank you and the panelists, Mr. Willie, Nubo, Joe, Councillor, I think like a day or so, and Samuel, there's Joe, Emmanuel, Madam Claudia, amongst others. It was an honor coming on the show, and I must thank Mr. the veteran Honorable Smith for being on me. We've been wrestling with coming on this show for a long time. And I told Honorable Smith I needed the parameters on which I will speak, because for us who have learned the art and the science of diplomacy, we cannot just go and talk on the radio because we want to talk. Because there is this apprehension about entrapment. So we all would like to know and understand why we're going to appear on a talk show or radio interview, what have you. And then, having studied that, we in due time, we call on you and say, thank you. And I am ready now to talk on your show. And that's exactly what I did. He was surprised when I wrote him this morning, I think yesterday or so. So I want to thank all of you in Radio Land who have been patient to listen to me. And if I had gone wrong in any way, please let me know, because to err is human and to forgive is divine. I see myself as one of you, and I'm not, I'm a fallible being. I'm not infallible, because God is the only one that is infallible. So I want to thank the radio audience, and I want to thank you, the chief moderator, Mr. Wright, if I got the name correct.
Yeah.
And all of you, I want to thank you all. I salute you and thank you so much.
And we thank you as well, Mr. Nippy. Thanks for coming. Good night. All righty. So. All right, fellas. It's 1 o'clock, and we're going to get 1 minute each to everybody. I'll start with Liberia. Mr. Day, you want to give your parting comments, please?
Hello?
Yeah, your parting comments, please.
Okay, let me close by saying, first, let me get to Mr. Nemo. And professional Mr. Nemo, I'm a professional prosecutor for more than 15 years. And when you have a guest and you want the public to learn, to know, you as a panelist, you are not the guest. So you provide questions that the public will get and understand. So my questions were leading questions so that you had the opportunity to provide detail. That's why I talk about post-investigation or pre-arrest investigation, so that they know. When you want prosecutor in Liberia, connect me. That's why I am their vice president in the Republic.
Thank you.
And investigation, before I close, my 1 minute is still going.
No, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I think Mr.
The trend of my question was, were based on systemic, because investigation is based on system and procedure. It was based on the act, based on the individual intuition and experience, and it was also based upon the science, the scientific methods. So when you follow the chain of my questions, were inline. And as an experienced lawyer, cases are not lost not because crime was not committed or someone was not involved, because cases are lost based upon procedure fraud. So, and our failure to exercise those systemic measures in investigation will either result to reasonable doubt, and reasonable doubt may lead to acquittal. That's why we were going in that line. And absolutely, let me admit, our guest did well, and I really appreciate him. He provided information that we expected. Neither did he mislead us, because I'm an expert in that area, and I also agree with him. In relation with the border issues, yes, preventive diplomacy is required. We do not to send our blow while the Ghanaians are doing the same though. So thank you very much, and we hope to meet tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Councillor Day. Before I go to the next panelist, I think if you're like, can we, because the show can be so nice, and I'm worried about the studio and the listening public. But if we can come on a little early, man, we'll really enjoy the show, because I can really enjoy the show, but we got to call it, maybe 4 o'clock. That'll be 8 o'clock Liberia time. It will be nice for us. I will get 3 hours to run the show. So I'm asking you, man, if they have the time, you got to do that early. But anyway, Mr. Nubo, let's come to you. No, hold on. Not Mr. Nubo. Mr. Nubo, I'll come to you last. Veteran Smith, I'll come to you.
Yeah, Veteran Smith will be complaining again.
Yeah, I don't want he complaining.
You had a wonderful day today, Mr. Numa.
How?
A lot of questions you were giving, so that's good day for you.
No, man, we call you.
You can't complain today.
We call you. You need to complain today.
Fedra, I will get a news coming up from sport.
Huh?
Okay, actually, Veteran Smith does not have anything to say. I mean, he get prison minutes. So let's move on.
Why you tell me to move on, Mr. Numa? It was a good show. It just like we had too many people asking questions, and so my position should be in the future, since I bring the guests in, I should be giving leeway to ask my question. Then you bring the other people in, then I don't have to ask question again, because I have to set a perimeter for others to know.
Can we take that off air?
Yeah. And you bring in these kind of other people to ask questions.
Okay, but it was a good show. He is an experienced person in national security. We couldn't get to all of the security questions. I would have loved to hear from him on the Fulani issue, although the Minister of Justice sort of have laid that to rest. But I would have loved to ask a question on that subject matter, where he thinks. But there are more issues. Time come, we will bring him back to do with national security, policing, and the other area he touched on, our local farmers and how to bring our products together. He have a method that he did that was workable. That was part of his introduction. I would have loved to ask him more on that, how it can be beneficial to our present condition in Liberia, agriculture, people bringing food from the rural area, whether there should be a central point. As he stated, he put that together. I would love to go more in depth into that. But there's always another time. But it was a good show.
Thank you, Veteran Smith. Mr. Nuba?
I feel that it was a great show, and he performed beyond my expectation. And I feel that on this show here, because Archie Wright make the arrangement, or John Nemo make the arrangement, or Fresh Smith make the arrangement, we are not entitled to asking more questions.
Can we take that off air, please?
Okay, okay, we're gonna take it off air. But he was a great man, and you heard what I said, that he will be our water sign or analyst, because I was very impressed. When I say we're talking about the contamination or this and that, no, and his explanation went as far as to my village. So we need to get him back. And that's my comment.
All right.
It was
Thank
wonderful.
you. Thank you to every one of you, and thanks to Councilor Day to still be with us at this time. It's about 1 a.m. in the morning, 1 or 8 a.m. in the morning in Liberia. Appreciate the commitment, Councilor Day. Your debut was a very interactive one and very effective.
Right.
We look forward to having you back here, throughout the programming period. If you have the time, I know you're a very busy man in Liberia, but please join the panel if you have the time to be with us, because it's all be nice having the legal perspective on the platform.
Yes.
Because most of what we do right now is all border around legal interpretation. So, but from my end, I think, like you, Mr. Nubo, I have dealt with Mr. Nippy. Now, I'm reminding you tonight, I have spoken to the gentleman on the phone. I have gone to the embassy and met with him, but I didn't know he was this well-rounded. I really did not know. And he blew me out of the park tonight. I mean, in every subject, this man could give you some real scholarly, statement, that will get you going, wow, okay, yeah. And then when you're asking to kind of go our, local vernacular way, he just killed it again. I'm like, wow. He didn't even argue. He said, okay, I will do it for you. And he just went straight in there. I'm like, wow, are you kidding me? He sounded like somebody in my village.
What he did, I cannot do it.
No, I don't think enough can easily do that. I mean, I was so impressed. Seriously, so impressed. But I want to say thanks to the veteran Smith for really making this possible to get Mr. Nippy on the show. It was great. We're definitely going to work hard to have him on again. And I want to make sure when I pick up the phone, Mr. Nippy will need on the show for you to come. I know he's going to do that. He said he's ready now to talk. He's ready to talk. So that's cool. But I wanted to end on this note.
No, I want to say something.
Mr. Wulu is already,
Okay, but I want to say something. 30 seconds.
Please.
30 seconds.
So we'll come back here. Say that all I want to go.
I'm happy we got Mr. Day here. Because we're going all around the area. We don't have a legal person here.
Yes.
So I'm very happy we have him here.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say.
Yeah. Yes. Trust me. He will tell you, I beg him. I said, my man, please. He said, man, give me time. I'll come. And he said, he said, my man, when I come, let me do what I got to do. Then I'll come on the show and I'll become a panelist. And finally, we got him.
You tell him Mr. Numo will give you a hard time.
At least, no, I got to tell you now, he knows himself.
I don't monitor you. So, I even expect more than that. Thank you, Mr. Numo. I appreciate the welcome and I appreciate you guys as well. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you, Counselor. We look forward to see you tomorrow again. Guys, I want to say good night. Thanks to everybody will be on the show. All right. Good night.
Bye-bye.
All right. tomorrow.